Welcome to tonight's 5 on 5. The guest is Robert Esterlein, Executive Director of the Southern Oregon Historical Society. And you're here to talk about the Chautauqua. Tell us a little bit about the Chautauqua, its history, and what it's about.
Chautauqua is a wonderful new event for the Historical Society that's actually resurrects an old event that used to have tremendous importance here in Southern Oregon. Chautauqua is a festival of music, drama, education, oratory, all sorts of what I would call intellectually high-end events, but in a festival atmosphere. And at one point, Ashland was really a center of the Chautauqua movement in the United States. One of the trademark buildings in Ashland up until the 20s was the Chautauqua Dome. It was a huge domed building which sat right on the site of where the Oregon Shakespeare Festival is. In fact, some of the foundations of that building actually form part of the Elizabethan Theater in Ashland right now. So we are resurrecting the Chautauqua as an event out at Hanley Farm, which is a beautiful historic setting. We will be holding it outdoors rather than in a dome. They've been held in all sorts of locations, tents, permanent buildings, outdoors. We find the setting at Hanley Farm to be beautiful for an outdoor event.
And tell us a little about the history. You mentioned briefly, but nationwide, what they kind of were back in the day and what this one will be.
These began actually in the 1870s as a way of bringing culture, the arts to people in rural areas who did not have access to them. And so for probably 50 years, the Chautauqua was a wonderful phenomenon around the United States. And at one point, 1910 to 1915, almost every town and city in the United States would have a Chautauqua event where speakers came, lecturers came, musicians came, performing troops came, and people from the countryside would come in to experience the culture that they couldn't get in rural areas. These changed over the years as radio and movies and television brought entertainment and culture out to people. But now they have a new life, and you find them around the country because they bring live entertainment rather than electronic entertainment to people. That's right.
Well, I'll have a few more questions about this specific one coming up on September 22nd here in just a few moments, so stick around. More 5 on 5 right after the break. Welcome back to the 5 on 5. The guest is Robert Esterlein, the Executive Director of the Southern Oregon Historical Society. We're talking about the Chautauqua, the history of it, and the upcoming one, which is September 22nd, 11 to 5 at the historic Hanley Farm. So give us a little specifics about this Chautauqua event.
We have 5 main performers or presenters. They are people from all over Oregon. They are among the best at what they do. We have a fellow named Stephen Holgate, a well-known actor from Portland who has been doing a one-man show portraying Abraham Lincoln for the last 12 years. He will do a town hall presentation in which the audience will actually get to ask questions of President Abraham Lincoln.
Cool.
Which I think is actually marvelous. We have one of the veteran actors from the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, Robert and Gudrun Nordley. She will be doing a one-woman show called Virgins to Villains, My Voyage with Shakespeare's Women. We have a wonderful world beat band called the Bar Misfits with a locally, they're well-known musicians in Southern Oregon. We have the Camelot Theater Conservatory will be doing a performance. This is the training ground for young performers in Southern Oregon. And finally, we have Lynn Sconchen. Lynn Sconchen is a Klamath elder and the historian of the Klamath tribe. And he will be giving a presentation on the Modoc Indian War. He is a direct descendant of one of the leaders of the Modoc during the war, and he will be talking about that. There's also a documentary been done by Oregon Public Television on the Modoc War, and Lynn Sconchen was a primary figure in that documentary.
Oh,
so
great lineup.
altogether, a wonderful lineup, tremendous variety. You have speakers, dramatic performances, song and dance, world beat music. It promises to be a wonderful day for people.
Quickly, the cost and where people can get more information.
It's $8 for adults general admission, $4 for kids 4 to 12, and for members of the Southern Oregon Historical Society it's also $4. You can get more information online at sohs.org, our website.
And again, September 22nd out.
That is this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
All right, Robert, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
That's it for the 5 on 5 Morning News right after the break.